Once again, we say good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Time now for game number 2 of our women's and men's basketball doubleheader between the home team, the Bellevue University Bruins, and the visiting Dickinson State University Bluehawks out of Dickinson, North Dakota. Mick Krupski and Julian Rivera back with you to bring you tonight's broadcast. On the men's side, the Bellevue team at 11-8 overall, 3-3 in the North Star Athletic Association. Dickinson State University is 8-6 overall, but 5-1 in the North Star Conference. In second place right now, their only loss on the season coming against Waldorf. The Bruins hoping to put up a second conference loss against the Bluehawks tonight. Let's take a look at each of these teams as we're kind of rushed here as the women's game, concluding with the Bellevue University win by a score of 63-44, a 19-point win for the Bellevue women. For the Bellevue men, 11-8 on the season. They're averaging 73 points per game, but they're also allowing 73 points per game. So it's been kind of an up and down season at times against a very tough schedule. The Bruin men shoot 43% from the floor. They shoot 34% from three-point land and 71% at the free throw line. Julian, give us a little bit of a look at the home team Bruins, who are some of the leading scorers for Bellevue.
Well, to continue leading the Bruins, we have Jalen Hall with 11.6 points a game, BJ Shelton with 11.1, and right behind him is Nick Hilton with 10.6. As far as rebounds go, Joffrey Stillman is collecting 6.5 rebounds a game, Blake Wilder with 5.6, and BJ Shelton with 4.3. Assists, we've seen it pretty spread out evenly for the Bruins. Jalen Hall with 39, Nick Hilton right behind him with 36, and BJ Shelton with 27.
One of the keys to Bellevue's success has been the contributions of those guys that aren't double-digit scorers, but between that 5 points and 9 points per game average, Bellevue has 6 players that are in that category. And as we've seen over the last couple of games, it's guys in that area that have stepped up to help get the Bruins to a victory on any given night. Tonight's opponent is the Dickinson State Bluehawks. Let's take a look at their team. On the season, the Bluehawks averaged 88 points per game while allowing 73, so a 15-point differential for the Bluehawks. As a team, they shoot 49% from the floor, they shoot 37% from behind the arc, and 71% at the free throw line. Give us an introduction to some of the leading individual players for Dickinson State.
Well, for Dickinson, Marcus White is leading the team with points of 18.9, but he's also in the top 3 for assists with 25 and rebounds per game with 6.2 rebounds a game. So he's kind of doing it all over the court for the Bluehawks. Following with the points per game is Ryan Clark with 10.1 and Jerry Shelvin with 8.7. With assists, we have Jerry Shelvin leading the team so far, almost doubling the closest man to him with 59 assists so far this season, and Carter Gallo with 27. With rebounds, we have Ryan Clark leading the team with 7.6 rebounds a game, and right behind him is Austin Payne with 4.
In their last conference game, Dickinson State beat Dakota State 79-71. That was 1 week ago. Marcus White went off for 23 points in that contest to lead his team. Last year, it was Bellevue and Dickinson State and the University of Jamestown who wound up in a 3-way tie for the league championship. All 3 of those teams tied with 11-5 league records. So these 2 teams know each other well from last year and hope to continue successful runs in the North Star Athletic Association.
And we'll see if Bellevue could do a job here on defense. You said that Dickinson State was averaging, I believe, 83 points a game. And so far, Bellevue, when they're allowing 80 points a game, they're 0-4. So we could see if we'll see if Bellevue could keep them to the 50 to 69 point range, because so far they're undefeated when they keep them in between that. Yeah,
Shane Pabin over the years has always said kind of that 74-point mark is the key to keeping teams under 74. Bellevue has an outstanding chance of winning if on defense they keep their opponents to 74 points or less. The higher that gets, the chances get a little sketchier of pulling out a victory. Both teams head back to their respective benches. They'll gather around their coaching staff. Shane Pabin now in his 10th year at the helm of the Bruin program. Associate head coach Mike Marcial and Chris Ashanti are the assistant coaches for the Bruins. Josh Vaughn is the head coach for Dickinson State. He's in his first year. His assistant coach is Marlon Tibbs. In just a moment, we'll have the starting lineups for both squads as we turn it over to Bryce Kelly for the introduction of the players in tonight's men's contest. right, there you have the starting lineups and a lot of background noise. I'm never quite sure if you can hear all the way through, so let's give them to you again for the visiting Blue Hawks at Dickinson State. It'll be Jerry Shevlin, Carter Gallo, Terrell Butler, leading scorer Marcus White, and Ryan Clark. That's a starting 5 for Coach Josh Vaughn. And for the home team Bruins, head coach Shane Pabin will send out Richard Reed, B.J. Shelton, Jalen Hall, Blake Wilder, and Drew Apsher. So one change from the normal Bellevue lineup. Nick Hilton not in the starting lineup. Drew Apsher taking his spot right now. Opening tip just about ready to come up. Bruins in their home team white with purple and gold trim. Dickinson State in their road navy blue with white trim. Tip controlled by the Bruins. Jalen Hall will bring it up court. Dickinson State starts off in a 2-3 zone defense. Here's the Bruins with their guard. Penetration. Jalen Hall to the hoop, off the glass and in. Jalen Hall found a seam on the right side and scores the first basket of the night. A little backcourt pressure by the Bruins. They fall back inside the timeline with the basketball. Jerry Shevlin, number 1 on his back. Working to the left side to Carter Gallo. Gallo crossway almost thrown out of bounds. The long arm of Marcus White prevented that. Working down inside to Clark, their big guy. Thanks to Ryan Clark for helping me with the pronunciations before tonight's game. A little move inside by Ryan Clark. We are tied 2-2. Clark out of Adelaide, Australia. So again, another international player we see in the Bruins opponent. Here's Apsher to the lane. The pass. Reed. Back to Apsher. Apsher does a little tightrope dance, keeping it in play. Bruins reset. Shot clock halfway through. Here's Blake Wilder coming out to the high post. Jalen Hall for 3. A little bit too short. The rebound brought down by Dickinson State. Marcus White will bring it up the floor. Crossover dribble, loses the handle. Richard Reed gets the steal. It's a foot race down court between Reed and Clark. And Richard Reed wins the battle. Left-handed layup, 4-2, Bruins lead. So the basket off the turnover for the Bruins. Gallo, guarded, crossed away by the Bruins. Here's Shevlin, steps inside the free throw line, now back out, working inside to Clark. He's been an early focus. They say no basket. A foul will be called on the floor. Let's see who it's going to go against. That will be Richard Reed. Will draw the first personal of tonight's contest.
And that's a great job there by Richard Reed. I mean, he may have got the foul, but it's better than allowing 2 easy points inside. Dickinson saw the mismatch and tried to take advantage of it.
Reed giving up about 10 inches of height against Ryan Clark. Dickinson inbounds to Clark. Carter Gallo with the basketball. Left-handed dribble around White. Frees up White for a possible 3-point look. Instead drives the lane. Blake Wilder there. Contact, but no foul called. Marcus White gets his first bucket of the night. Senior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Apsher to Shelton. BJ with the lane into Clark. There's going to be a foul, and it's an offensive foul against BJ Shelton. As they say, Ryan Clark had established position. First personal foul against Shelton. Bruins with 2 team fouls. Austin Moore and Joffrey Stillman check in for Bellevue. Hall and Wilder to the bench. Marcus White tried to sneak down court without anybody guarding him. Then B.J. Shelton sees him on the other end and goes to play defense. Point guard Jerry Shevlin, Santa Monica, California, his hometown. Into the hands of White. White wins the Shiny Shoes Award tonight. Kind of an orangey red on his footwear. Looking inside again to Clark. Instead, Shevlin pulls it down. Across to Gallo. Bruins man-to-man defense doing a nice job. Shot clock down to 5. Pull-up jumper by Gallo. That one rattles around about 4 or 5 times off the rim and backboard and finally falls through. Team shooting well in the early going. Blue Hawks with a 2-point lead as we've gone through 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Here's Austin Moore for 3. Austin, the Bellevue native, connects on his first shot of the night. The Bruins regain the 1-point lead. Ryan Clark over to Terrell Butler. Clark once again looking down low to White. Spin move inside, up and under, too short. The putback by White. That one hangs for a second and then falls in. Marcus White with 4 points. Bellevue on the offensive end. Shelton to Apsher. Drew launches the three. That's nothing but net. Drew Apsher, the freshman from Sedalia, Missouri, connects on his shot. Bruins a 2-point lead. 16.5 remaining in the first half of action. Again, pressure in the backcourt. About 8 seconds taken off the clock due to that backcourt pressure. The drive knocked away by Reed, but can't quite come up with the steal. Shevlin has it. Shot clock down to 7. Counting down from there. Shevlin, the step back three. That's too strong. Austin Moore with the rebound for Bellevue. Moore and Apsher, the two three-point guys, playing catch across the way. A foul is called, a blocking foul against Dickinson State. That's going to go against Jerry Shevlin, his first, also the first team foul. Blake Wilder checks back in. Also coming in is Brandon Fagans and Brian Stokes.
And I wouldn't be surprised now to see a little battle down low. I mean, we've kind of seen Dickinson State's centers take advantage of the mismatches down low on the switches from the screens. But now with Blake Wilder in and Brandon Fagans in, it's pretty even, I'd say.
Fagans, the tallest player on the Bellevue roster. He's got the basketball right now. 6'9" senior from Foothills Ranch, California. Stokes with the basketball across to Apsher, working down low to Wilder. Going one-on-one against Clark. The Bruins let him have some space. The kick out to Apsher. The three on its way. It's good. Drew Apsher 2 for 2 from behind the arc. 13-9. Excuse me, 13-8. 15.5 to go in the first half of action. Julian Rivera, Mick Krupski with you as usual on the Bruins Sports Network. Ryan Clark launches for three, and it's nothing for net for him. Both teams shooting well in the early going. Apsher, his third attempt. Ooh. That one won't go down, but Fagan's there for the offensive rebound. Here's Stokes from the corner. That one won't go down. The rebound brought down by Shevlin. Bellevue shooting 83%. 71% for Dickinson State. Sorry, I spit on the computer screen.
Yeah, I think that was my drink.
The rebound pulled down by Blake Wilder off the Blue Hawk miss. Moore quickly up court. Apsher on the dribble. The give to Stokes. Moore back inside to Wilder. He's working one-on-one against Ryan Clark. Tries the spin move. That's covered. Into the middle. Blake has it stripped away underneath. Marcus White comes up with the basketball on the turnover. White working against Fagans. Fagans knocking away. White gets it back. Into the hands of Gallo. Shot clock halfway through. The drive, the kick. White into the lane. Fagans challenges but can't get there in quite enough time. And Marcus White connects for his 6th point. Brian Stokes working inside to Blake Wilder. We've got Brian, we've got Blake, we've got Brandon. It's the killer bees on the floor. Wilder working hard. He'll draw the foul and head to the free throw line. We saw the Bruins do this the last several games. They'll allow Wilder to work against a big man. They'll clear out one side of the court. Here Blake will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. A good free throw shooter for the Bruins. Started his college career in Iowa. He's a Fort Dodge native. First free throw is good.
And the Bruins are a great free throw shooting team. I believe last game or the game before that, they scored 22 points just off of free throws alone. So putting them on the line, I don't know if it's the best idea here for Dickinson.
Jalen Hall back in. That one won't go down. Austin Payne into the game, collects the rebound for Dickinson State. Also into the game, Akeem Williams. He's got the basketball right now. Crossed away to Carter Gallo. Hawked there by Austin Moore. Stripped away by Moore. Picked up by Hall. Nicely executed on the defensive end. Jalen stripped to the basket. He got fouled about 3 times. No call. That doesn't matter because he makes the basket. We had a better angle on that one than the official did, running on the opposite side. But Jalen, strong move to the basket for the basket. Devin Loy into the game as well for Dickinson State. He had it just a bit ago. Now into the hands of Gallo. Down low to Connor Getchie. Also a newcomer into the game. He'll make his first shot working on that left baseline. 16-15. Bruins lead it by 1 as we approach the 13-minute mark in the first half of action. Brian Stokes into Blake Wilder. Nice up and under by Wilder. Won't go down. Battle for the rebound. That's going to be controlled by Dickinson State. Forgot B.J. Shelton. He's another one of the killer bees. Brian Stokes, he's a killer bee. We mentioned Brian, Brandon, Blake, B.J. Shot. Short. Somebody get the rebound. It's Brian Stokes to the rescue on that one. Hall into traffic, the kick out. Moore launches for 3. Austin not quite on that one. Stokes dives for it into the sidelines, but they say it's out of bounds. Good effort by Brian Stokes, the Omaha North graduate, giving it his all, trying to save that one. Apsher and Reed back in for the Bruins.
And I feel like that's one of the great benefits about Brian Stokes. He might not score a bunch of points for the Bruins, but his hustle on the court is incredible.
Timeout called on the floor. Looks like we've got maybe some blood on the uniform. Can't see if Blake is bleeding from here, but now they're looking on the floor, so it probably, everybody's kind of checking each other and themselves. Yeah, somebody's bleeding. There was a little blood on the floor, so we'll have a stoppage while that will be cleaned up. Hey, again, we want to give you the opportunity, if you would like to participate in our broadcast tonight, send along a text message to Julian or me. Text message number is 402-515-7654. We've heard from Bellevue fans all season long. Hey, if you're a Blue Hawks fan and you want to play along with us too, same number, 402-515-7654. Back to the action. Blue Hawks basketball. Trying to work around the top. Drive. Shea Paper was reaching out to make the catch on that one. He would love to play, but I think he's used up his eligibility. Here's Jerry Shevlin with the dribble. Stop. Head fake. Shot from behind the free throw line. Shevlin connects. I believe that's his first basket of the night. Dickinson State takes their first lead at 17-16 at the 11:40 mark. Here's B.J. Shelton trying to drive inside. A foul upcoming against Austin Payne. Payne, a junior against Elk Grove, California. First personal, third team foul. Here's B.J. again working inside against the double team. B.J. Shelton able to bonk it home. B.J. with his first basket of the night.
And that's B.J.'s game. We've seen him constantly throughout the season and last season. That's his game, is inside. So if they really want a chance at stopping him, they're going to have to stop him from getting the inside.
Using his strength, using his ability to handle the basketball. Shevlin working against a smaller opponent to kick out the shot by Lloyd. No good. Battle for the board. That's going to be a foul called against Connor Getchie as he went over the back of, I believe, Jalen Hall. Getchie pleading his case. He's not going to win that argument. Trying to say he had space, but the official said no.
I don't think a ref would reverse his call.
11-12 to go. Now 11-11, 11-10. Guess what's next? 18-17 our score. Bruins back up by 1 after the Shelton basket last time down. Here's Richard Reed trying to penetrate. Gives it off to Hall. Spin move by Jalen inside. And another foul called inside. As suddenly the whistles have come alive. That one's going to go against Akeem Williams. 5th team foul against the Blue Hawks. Jalen Hall at the free throw line to shoot 2.
Jalen Hall so far a 75% free throw shooter, so he's doing a great job at the line this season for the Bruins.
A little bit of perspiration on the floor. That's toweled up. Up and in by Jalen. 5 points by Jalen. He had his season high game last week against University of Jamestown. Poured in 26 points. In fact, we've had several Bruin players over the last 2 games have had season highs. Dickinson State pushing the ball up court. That's Williams in traffic. The kick out pass. The set for 3. That one's off the mark on the miss by Loy. Joffrey Stillman pulls down the rebound. Here's Shelton in the middle once again, driving, splits the defenders off the glass and in. Classic B.J. Shelton move inside, similar to his last basket. 10.5 remaining in the first half. Bruins up to a 4-point lead. Shevlin with the basketball, guarded by Ty Anderson, just into the game for the Bruins. Ty will pick up his first personal foul as he tried to deny the dribbling lane, excuse me. Terrell Butler checks back in. Marcus White checks back in as well for Dickinson State. Dickinson, North Dakota, in the west central part of the state. It's about a 10 to 12 hour bus ride, depending upon how fast your driver wants to go. It's a long trip and not a lot of great scenery unless you like empty cornfields and wide open spaces.
I'm sure they just try to sleep that whole ride.
That's right. Shevlin with the basketball. Nice pass down low on the bounce to White. White working against Stillman. One-on-one. Little turnaround up and in. Marcus White now 4 out of 5 on the evening. Drew Apsher drives the lane. The kick out to Anderson. Anderson gives it to Shelton. Shelton draws a lot of attention and it's knocked away. Defensive play by Terrell Butler. Dickinson State with a chance to tie here, trailing by 2. On the drive to the lane, Williams is cut off by Shelton. Here's Devlin, step back 3. No good, rebound to B.J. Shelton. Shelton with 3 rebounds already. Here's Ty Anderson, a little short one in the lane, but it won't go down. Defensive rebound on a nice box out by Connor Getchie. Drive to the lane, short runner, that's good by Jerry Shevlin. Split the Bruin defenders. Both Shevlin and Carter Gallo, Santa Monica, California products. Numbers 1 and 2 in the program for Dickinson State, the Bruins. Ty Anderson takes a body to the head. He holds on to the basketball. And now we've got a jump ball call. Possession arrow points to Dickinson State. I hope Anderson's okay. He went down on his head. And then one of the Dickinson players also landed on top of him. And we saw Mike Livergood, the Bruins head trainer, had to come out to tend to an injured Dickinson State player during the women's game. And now he's out once again, this time to tend to Ty Anderson.
And it looked like Ty there got his head slammed against the ground once he dove for that ball, so that could be it. Yeah,
he just kind of went into the fetal position trying to keep control of the basketball, but that's usually also a sign that you've got some sort of injury. So with 9:04 remaining in the first half, athletic trainer Mike Livergood attending to Ty Anderson. Anderson, the junior from Hastings, Nebraska. He'll take all the time they need. Anytime you injure your coconut, you want to make sure everything is working properly. 21-21 our score. Drew Apsher with 6 points, lead the Bruins on 2 made trays. Jalen Hall with 5, B.J. Shelton with 4, as Ty Anderson gets a nice applause from the crowd as he slowly walks off with Mike Livergood. Austin Moore with 3, Richard Reed with 2, Blake Wilder with 1 point thus far on the Bruins side. Marcus White with 8 points leads the Blue Hawks, 5 for Ryan Clark, 4 for Jerry Shevlin, 2 for Carter Gallo, 2 for Connor Getchie. That's our individual score to this point. We're tied at 21. Dickinson State basketball in the corner. Shevlin, the shot, that one's going to be short. The rebound to Jalen Hall. Hall coming up quickly. On the run to Brian Stokes. Nice head fake. Got his defender in the air. Here's Richard Reed for 3. Too short. The rebound to Shevlin. He'll wait on the control break. Bruins averaging 73 points per game. Blue Hawks averaging 88 points per game. Here's White, one of the big reasons why he collects his 10th point of the night. He's 5 for 6 from the floor. He's been carrying the load. Almost half of the points for Dickinson State.
He's been doing a great job getting the inside, the better part of the inside of the key, and being able to finish.
Blake Wilder trying to work inside, was blocked from behind by White, gets the ball back. Shot clock still allowed to go at 12 seconds. Wilder once again with the basketball, looking for somebody to cut around him as a screen. Brian Stokes for 3. The left-handed shot is good. Brian Stokes connects his first basket of the night. He's now 1 for 2 from range. 7:45 remaining. Bruins with a 1-point lead. Shade Pavin directing traffic on the defensive end. Bellevue still playing that man-to-man defense that we've seen most of the season. Jerry Shevlin The kick out pass to Terrell Butler. Back to Shevlin, bounced inside to White. Joffrey Stillman trying to guard him. Blake Wilder comes over on the double team. The pass across the way, the shot off the mark. The rebound tipped outside. Nice job by Blake Wilder. Tip it out to Richard Reed. Reed doesn't have numbers but presses the issue. The shot a little bit too strong off the glass. Approaching the 7-minute mark remaining. Good play down there on the defensive end by Blake Wilder. Knew he couldn't corral it, so he tipped it out to Reed. Here's Shevlin again. The pull-up jumper from about 12 feet. No good. Richard Reed, smallest guy on the floor for the Bruins, picks up the defensive rebound. Gives it off to Hall. Hall looking to get it inside. Now the reverse. Stokes bounces inside. Trying to work is Joffrey Stillman. He's in traffic. Little baby hook by Joffrey Stillman is good. His first basket of the night. Bruins getting a lot of players involved in the scoring. 8 already. 6.5 remaining in the first half. Shevlin, hawked by Reed, tries to drive baseline, cut off there, gets it to White. White traveling, nope. Off the glass, Joffrey pulls down the defensive rebound. Quickly ahead to Reed. Back to Hall. Hall thought about the three. The give off to Stokes. Stokes get the head fake. Trying to drive. Good defense on the play by Carter Gallo to deny. And then Butler gets the steal, working against Reed on the other end. Reed with a good job on defense. Blake Wilder working hard. They say it'll remain Dickinson State ball. Blake with a good hustle play to try to keep it alive. Fagan, Shelton, Moore, Apsher back into the game for the Bruins. Jalen Hall, the only Bellevue player to stay on the court. Inbounded to White. White against Shelton. This ought to be a good one-on-one matchup. And a traveling violation. BJ wins that battle on his defense, forcing the turnover. White with one step too many that time. 5:45 remaining in this first half. Bellevue up by 3 points. Been very entertaining thus far. These teams battling hard. They tied for the league championship last year along with Jamestown. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebound controlled by Akeem Williams. He does not have numbers. You don't have a whole lot of success with a 1-on-4 break. The pass to Marcus White from a long way behind the arc. White makes it count. 13 points for him. The senior from Milwaukee. Bruins need to try to control him. He has exactly half of the team points. Here's Drew Apsher. Here's Austin Moore behind the back dribble. Halfway through the clock. Jalen, runner in the lane, too short. A foul will be called. Marcus White collects the rebound. Let's wait to see who the foul is going to be called against on the Bellevue side. They're going to say against B.J. Shelton. That'll be his second personal foul, so that might limit him for the remaining 4:57. He steps away as Blake Wilder steps back out onto the floor. Also coming back in is Austin Payne. And Brian Stokes as well off the Bellevue bench. Austin Payne with that left hand taped up. Don't know if he's got a jam or a broken finger on that left hand, but doesn't look like it would be too comfortable. Here's White now working against Fagans. Nice bounce pass down the side. The basket is good. Bruins tried to help out on defense. That allowed Austin Payne to sneak in the back door for the basket. 2-point lead for the Blue Hawks. Bellevue has led most of the first half. The Blue Hawks have had a couple of short-lived 1- or 2-point leads. Moore with the basketball. Inside to Blake Wilder. Wilder has to clear out against Getchie. Now to the top of the key to Apsher. Drew, bounce pass to Blake. Blake in traffic, up and under and good. Nice job by Blake Wilder to use his size and finesse inside. We're tied again as we approach the 4-minute mark. Marcus White may have gotten away with the walk. Brandon Flagans with the denial. The reject by the Bruins big man. Bruins can't get a transition quickie. Here's a three-pointer by Apsher. That's no good. Fagans tips it, keeping it alive to Brian Stokes. A fresh clock for Bellevue. Apsher to Moore to Stokes. Bruins again look inside. Now they pass around the top. Shot clock halfway through. Blake again with the one-on-one against Getchie. Apsher from the top of the key, off the glass, but it won't fall down. Battle for the rebound is won by Austin Payne. Here comes Dickinson State, trying to break the 28-all tie. Long three-point attempt. That's no good off the back iron by Williams. Brian Stokes collects the basketball. Moore to Blake Wilder. Wilder again into traffic. Nice up and under by Blake, but a little short on the shot. Blake somehow gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. You got a chance to see the strength and the finesse of Blake Wilder the last 2 times down the floor. Bruins with a 2-point lead. Drive to the basket, rejected once again by Brandon Fagans, his second block of the night. Swats it out of bounds on the shot by Carter Gallo. Jerry Shevlin back in. Devin Loy back in. Jalen Hall back in for the home team Bruins. Neither team has used a timeout yet in this game, so they all have their 6 still showing on the scoreboard. Here's Richard Reed checking back in as well. So coaches playing a little strategy, getting rosters and lineups on the floor that they like. Jerry Shevlin to inbounds. Players trying to set some picks, finally inbounded to Connor Getchie. Back to Shevlin. Tries to use the high screen. Austin Moore works his way through. Back on his feet, back playing defense. Quick reversal to Getchie. Over the top pass to the corner. The shot from three-point land is no good on the miss by Loy. Austin Moore pulls down the rebound. 2:15 remaining in the first half. Bellevue on top by 2, 30-28 our score. Here's Blake Wilder again trying to work his way inside. Little jump stop. Knocked away. Here's Moore on the drive in the traffic with the left hand. No good. Brandon Fagans had his hands on it for just a second, but couldn't collect it. Ahead come the Blue Hawks. Shevlin left alone for a 3. That's no good. The rebound battled for and won by Devin Loy. Fresh shot clock. Not much seconds going down. 3-point shot by Getchie is off the mark. The Blue Hawks have gone cold on the last couple of trips. 1:35 to go in this first half. Two of the teams that expect to compete for the league championship. Bounce pass inside. Again, Austin Moore having to pick himself up off the floor again. Blake Wilder muscle it in. Blake won't go down. Fagans tries to battle, but the rebound collected by Akeem Williams. So Blake Wilder's been the focus of the Bruin attack the last several times down the floor. Reversal of the basketball in front of the Bruin bench. Here's the dribble by Akeem Williams. Now back outside to Connor Getchie. Reversing to the left side. Jerry Shevlin. Shot clock down to 5. Loy, 3-point shot missed, but into the hands of Getchie in a good position. He gets it back out to the top of the key. Just a little bad break for the Bruins on that one as Getchie was in the right place. Shevlin launches an awkward shot. Blake Wilder collects the board.
And so far we've been seeing great defense from both teams on both sides. Dickinson State's maintaining the inside half, and Bellevue's doing a great job getting the outside and preventing the 3-point shot.
About 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Bruins shot clock down to 11. They'll start into their offense here in just a little bit. Here's Jalen Hall driving left side lane. Off the glass, Jalen Hall connects. 10 seconds remaining. Dickinson State tries to get the ball up court. Here's Jerry Shevlin. Game clock down to 3. Nice job by Richard Reed denying. The last second shot is off the glass and no good on the attempt by Williams. Bruins scoring the basket and then playing strong defense at the end. We are at halftime, and our score, the home team, Bellevue University Bruins 32, the visiting Dickinson State Blue Hawks 28. A very exciting, very closely contested first half. The Bruins have had the lead through most of it. Dickinson State with a couple of leads, but Bellevue's able to come back and regain it at halftime. Very fast-paced game. Julian, give us some stats while we again take a quick look at the phone, see if we've got any text message. Again, we'll remind everybody here, if you want to be part of the broadcast, send along your text message to 402-515-7654.
All right, for Bellevue, so far we have eight guys on the Bellevue basketball team putting up points for the Bruins. So Jalen Hall's leading the team with 7 points. Drew Apsher with 6. We saw him drain 2 of the threes early in the game. Blake Wilder with 5. We've seen him really work hard in the paint, trying to get some inside shots. B.J. Shelton with 4, Austin Moore and Brian Stokes with 3, Richard Weed with 2, along with Joffrey Stillman with 2. And as far as rebounds go throughout the team, everybody in the team's getting rebounds for Bellevue. For Dickinson State, we have Marcus White leading the team with 13. He's leading both teams with points. So Ryan Clark with 5, Jerry Shelvin with 4, along with and Carter Gallo and Connor Getchie with, and Austin Payne with 2 points for Dickinson State. And them as well. Rebounds have been across the board throughout the whole team.
Everybody on the floor getting involved in just about every aspect of the game. Bellevue shooting 45% in the first half. Dickinson State shooting 39%. Bellevue making 4 3-pointers. Dickinson State making 2. No free throws shot by Dickinson State. Bellevue only to the line 4 times, and they've made 2 out of 4. So the officials letting them play a little bit. Not a lot of fouls called. The rebounding equal at 19. The assists pretty close as well. The blocks pretty close. The steals pretty close. So no statistical gap, significant statistical gap between either of these teams in the first half of action.
When you look at the stats, both teams are really even. I mean, even points in the paint, both teams have 18 points in the paint. So they're both doing a great job finding the baskets that they want.
All right, let's check in to see what we've got here on the old text message line. Monique Hall, Jalen's mom, is watching in Paris, California. Let's go Bruins. We appreciate you listening in, Monique. Love to have you part of the Bruins Sports Network. I know you're a frequent listener and watcher on our network. Coach Durrell cheering in Sedalia. Go Bruins, go Drew. Drew Apsher, I think Coach Durrell, his high school coach perhaps, listening in. Drew with a couple of trays tonight. Good to see him find the range. That's from Tim, Nita, and Dane Apsher are rooting for the Bruins. They must be there as well because they come from the same phone number. So thanks to everybody listening in Missouri, the Show Me State, part of the Bruins Sports Network tonight, as well as California. Again, if you would like to join the party, send along your text messages to 402-515-7654. We're going to take a little bit of a break here to catch our breath. We got right back into it after the women's game concluded, so we're going to step out for about 7 or 8 minutes. When we come back, the score will be the same. The Bruins lead at 32-28. Keep it right here for more on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Welcome back to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network, everyone. We are at halftime, and our score, the home team Bruins lead it 32-28. Thanks for joining Julian and me in the first half. We've got some text messages to get to. Again, we'll give that number one final time if you haven't had a chance to get in yet. Oops, got to get to the right screen here. Hate missing the game tonight, but thankful to be watching. That's thanks so much from Blake Wilder's mom listening in. Up in north central Iowa, I believe, is the Wilder family location. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you listening in. Jalen's brother Darren is watching. Go Big Brother. Monique Hall, Jalen's mom, is watching in Paris, California. Let's go Bruins. So a couple members of the Hall family joining us tonight. Thanks for sending along your messages. Eastvale, California, go Bruins. All right, more Californians on the network. We love to hear our California crew. This one, Eastvale, California, that must be from the Garrett Ford family. Garrett was a player last year as a freshman. He's redshirting this year, so thanks to the Ford family listening in Eastvale, California. Bruin players from Nebraska, from California, from Iowa, from Missouri, and then a couple of redshirt guys. Josh Lindsey Hunter is from Mobile, Alabama. Josh Meyer is from Justice, Illinois. Isaiah Laughlin, another redshirt from Lincoln. And then Garrett Ford, also redshirting this year from Eastvale, California. So Bruin players and redshirts who hope to get on the floor next year as well. Thanks for joining us all on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. We'll still keep taking those text messages if you want to send them in. I know we've got an exciting second half coming up. The Bruins lead it by 4 at halftime. This is a very big weekend for the Bellevue University Bruins. Dickinson State, the opponent tonight. Dickinson State ahead of them in the conference standings. Dickinson State 5-1, Bellevue at 3-3. Tomorrow afternoon's opponent, Mayville State, the #1 team in the conference as we near the halfway point. Mayville State on top with a 6-1 record. They'll be coming here to the Lozier Center tomorrow afternoon. Game time 5 o'clock. Be sure to join us for that one as well as the Bruins can continue to move upwards on the NSAA chart. We haven't seen senior Nick Hilton on the floor yet tonight. Julian, You said you overheard the reason?
I believe it was a toe injury. Something with his foot was going on, and we saw before the game in the women's game, and at halftime he was kind of doing sprints on the court, kind of getting the feel for it, I believe.
Has Nick not taken off his warm-up top this evening, so I don't expect him to play. Hilton averaging 10.6 points per game, so.
And he's a big part for the Bruins team too. He's a great three-point shooter and assist leader, but luckily for the Bruins, they have a team that could kind of step it up when he's not there, and are a great shooting team as well.
Bellevue with 4 3-pointers from the outside in that first half of action, as both teams able to put some points on the board, but not as many as the Blue Hawks are used to scoring. Again, the Blue Hawks averaging 88.3 points per game. They're well below that mark at 28 at halftime. Bellevue pretty close to their season average. They average 73, but 32 at halftime. That's a little bit below their season average too. So some strong defensive efforts on both sides of the squad. We'll see if that continues in the second half. But those numbers are the kind of game that head coach Shane Payman likes to play. Yeah. Hold down your opponents. Let defense decide, and then make the critical plays down the stretch.
And statistically, things are looking great for the Bruins. Like I said earlier, before the game started, when Bruins are scoring at least 70 points, or 60 to 79 points, they're winning. They're usually winning that ball game. And usually when they're holding teams to 69 points or less, which kind of looks on pace to what they're going to be doing today. So hopefully it's a close game, tough battle, and hopefully we'll see who can pull it out.
We've got an addendum to our previous text message from Eastvale, California. Lewis and Sydney Ford. Garrett Forbes, folks, cheering for our Bruins from Eastvale. So for some reason, I had a 6-minute separation on getting those two texts. So I was right. It is Garrett's family, Lewis and Sydney. Thanks for joining us on the Bruins Sports Network. Oh, a couple other quick ones. We'll get to those in just a minute as we get underway with the second half of action. Bruins with the basketball, leading by 4. B.J. Shelton inside, up and in. B.J. with a drive into the middle and the short jump shot. Bruins up by 6. Jerry Shevlin, the point guard, brings it up floor for Dickinson State into Marcus White, leading scorer. He had 13 at halftime. Back to Shevlin. B.J. Shelton right in the face of Marcus White on defense. One-on-one battle going down the left side of the lane. Turnaround hook by Marcus White.
And he's having a great game. So far, 15 points and 7 for 10 from field goal.
Here's the Bruins back to work. 3-guard offense. Richard Reed for three-pointer off the back iron. The rebound brought down by Shevlin. 34-30, 1 minute gone in the second half of action. Shevlin is grabbed by Jalen Hall. Jalen will pick up the foul. First team foul against the Bruins in this second half. For Jalen, that's foul number 1. Lisa Hilton watching the game in Sacramento, California. She must have known we were going to be talking about Nick. Go Bruins, says Lisa. Again, one of the regular members on the Bruins Sports Network. Thanks again. Blake's mom and a denim as well. Go Blake, make your free throws. That's from Rael, his sister. Shot by White is short. BJ picks up the rebound. Controlled break as the Bruins head up court. Hall will control things. He'll give it off to Shelton. BJ drives in the lane, tries to bounce pass to Wilder. The kick out to Apsher. Defense responds. Reed open for 3. Richard Reed for the tray.
And that's Richard's 5th point so far this game. 0 for 2 from the three-point line previous, but starting the second half pretty hot.
You can't let a miss distract you from taking open three-point shots. We heard women's basketball coach Dave Denley talk about that after the women's game with a couple of women's shooters. Shelton knocks that one away on the drive by Gallo. Dickinson gets it back. A nice move. The long arms of Terrell Butler able to bank it off the backboard and in. Bruins basketball. Donta Wilder once again working against Ryan Clark. Outside the Hall. Hall had a little bit of lane. Apsher with a three-point look. Drew a little bit off the mark. The rebound to Clark. Dickinson State heads back up floor. Trailing by 5. White. Traveling violation. Could have been a travel, could have been a charge. I'm sure White will be happy to take the charge instead of the foul. Joffrey Stillman checks back in. Austin Moore checks back in, replacing Hall and Shelton. Bruins working very hard. You can see how hard the effort is for both of these squads. When people get a chance to go to the bench for a break, they've earned it. Joffrey Stillman handling the ball at the point. Don't say that real often. Here's Richard Reed, another three-point look. Richard hits back-to-back trays for the Bruins. Reed, the junior from Sacramento, California, connects on that one.
And Richard Reed takes the lead for points for the Bruins. So far, he's at 8 points this game.
Austin Moore got the chance for the steal, and a foul is called against Marcus White. Austin Moore with a nice play. White tried to get it back, but fouled Moore. The Bruins with an 8-point lead. Timeout called by Dickinson State with 17-16 remaining. The Bruins 40, the Blue Hawks 32. We talk about defense, winning a lot of games. The Bruins have come out very strong on defense in this second half. Hitting the glass, making a steal, expanding their halftime lead from 32 to 28, a 4-point lead. They double that to 40 to 32.
And so far, just in the second half with what's been played, they've been outscoring Dickinson State 8-4.
Dickinson State again 5-1 in the conference. Let's give you a quick rundown. Mayville State at 6-1 in first place. Dickinson State 5-1 in second. Third place to Waldorf 4-3. Bellevue and Dakota State are tied for fourth at 3-3. Jamestown also 3-3. So 4 teams tied for fourth. Then comes Viterbo, Presentation, and Valley City State. All of them with losing records in conference to this point. But still, including this game, 10 games remaining in the 16-game schedule of the North Star Athletic Association. Home and away series, against each of the other 8 members of the conference. Bruins back in action tomorrow afternoon against conference leading Mayville State, so a very important home weekend for Bellevue. Working down low to Blake Wilder. Again, that clear out 1-1. Blake into the middle, tied up temporarily, and then a 3-second violation will be called against Blake Wilder. So credit the 3 or 4 Blue Hawk defenders who were guarding Wilder once he penetrated in the lane, denying him the shot. Bellevue again, a little backcourt pressure, taking a couple seconds off the clock. Now it's Joffrey Stillman on defense against White. He'll give it off to Williams. Knocked away by Blake Wilder. Richard Reed picks it up again. Bruins 2-1 break. Richard Reed takes it to the hole. It won't go down, but a foul is called. Carter Gallo trying to get back, but he never established defensive positions. Yes, he had his hands straight up, but his feet were not established.
And Richard Reed so far this season is 70% free throw shooter, so we'll see if he could bump this lead up to double digits for the Bruins.
That first free throw is in. Again, Julian thinking he brought out the announcer jinx. Brian Stokes in for the Bruin. And the bandaged Austin Payne back in for Dickinson State. So Reed gets ready to shoot again. Richard started his college career at American River College after graduating from Laguna Creek High School. Jalen Hall, Brandon Fagans back in for Bellevue. As the Bruins look like they're going to maybe put on a little bit more intense pressure this trip down, leading by 10, 42-32. Kind of a critical juncture of the game for Dickinson State. If they want to stay in this one, they need to get some points and make some stops. The Bruins can open it up, doing just the opposite. Here's the drive by Gallo. He's covered. Nice job by the Bruins defense. Stokes helping out. White to the corner to Clark. Brandon Fagans has that defensive assignment. Shevlin drives, cut off in the lane. Free shot, over, three-point shot on its way. It's no good. Battle for the rebound. Foul is called on the battle for the rebounds as Brandon Fagans and Ryan Clark were battling. Foul will be called on Brandon, his first personal. Bellevue with 2 team fouls, the Blue Hawks with 2 team fouls. Shane Pagan wanted a travel call on that last stretch down low against Jerry Shevlin. Trying to run some guys off of picks. Finally inbounds to Ryan Clark as the escape valve. He'll give it off to Shevlin. Bellevue closely guarding in the man-to-man. Here's White into the lane. Bruins trying to help out. Shot up. They say before the shot, a foul will be called. That's going to go against Joffrey Stillman. That's his first, 3rd team against Bellevue.
And so far, Bellevue's kind of been having a tough time guarding Marcus White, so we'll see if they could do a better job defending him here.
White 7 out of 11 on the game for his 15 points. Coming in, he's been averaging just under 19 points per game. Shevlin to the corner to Clark. Clark drives in the lane. Wasn't pretty, the shot doesn't fall. Kind of like a pulling guard that time as he hooked the ball on his hip, got the shot off. Bruins trying to expand on their 10-point lead. Here's Jalen. Bryan for 3. Stokes connects from the top of the key. Brian Stokes.
With the second three-pointer so far this game.
So Bellevue shooters picking up the slack for Nick Hilton not being able to play tonight. Inside to Clark to give. Off the glass and down. Nice ball movement inside. In traffic, Austin Payne connects the basket. Bellevue slowing down the pace just a little bit. That's kind of to the liking of Shane Payman against his high-scoring Blue Hawk team. Austin Moore, Brian Stokes, Jalen Hall. Hall in the lane to kick out to Moore. Back to Jalen. Shot clock down to 8. Jalen in the lane. Jump stop, turn around, little short. Rebound to Joffrey Stillman. He puts it back up and in. Joffrey Stillman with the board and basket. Stillman now with 4 points and 3 rebounds. Bruins doing a great job harassing on the perimeter. Shot clock halfway through. Dickinson State's Marcus White connects.
And that's one of the dangerous things we've seen about Marcus White so far. You don't really expect a post to be shooting it from the three-point line, but so far he's 2 for 2 from the 3.
6'6", can shoot it from anywhere on the floor. Bellevue back to a 10-point lead. They say that was a 2-point basket. His foot was on the line, so not a three-pointer. Jalen Hall, Brian Stokes, Austin Moore looking inside to Joffrey Stillman. Stillman working on that low left block. Stokes, head fake, drive into the lane, a little bit short on that contested shot. The rebound pulled down by Carter Gallo. Here's Jerry Shevlin driving, pull-up jumper from 15 feet, no good. Austin Moore grabs the rebound. Again, Moore, very impressed with his ability to get in for the rebounds. Austin with the basketball now. Only 6'2". He's contesting against guys who are 4, 5, 6 inches taller than him quite frequently, but uses his head as well as positioning to know where the shot might go. Here's Jalen Hall. Back to Moore. Moore into the lane. Shot clocked at 3. Hall's shot is contested. He's knocked to the floor. No foul call because it was contested. Here comes Marcus White with a little show stuff on the other end. Stokes with the head fake, goes around the defender, gets it inside to Fagans. Fagans is fouled underneath. Clark and Payne trying to defend against Fagans. A nice bounce pass inside to get the ball to Brandon in good position. The foul's going to go against Ryan Clark. That's just his first personal. Each squad now with 3 team fouls. Looking across the way, a whole host of people ready to come in. First, Brandon Fagans, 2 free throws.
And he's 60% from the line as well, so we'll see if he could maintain that lead for Bellevue from the 8 to 10 point range.
And he does. Been fighting a head cold all week. I apologize. Try not to cough and sneeze into the microphone. Thanks for picking me up there.
And so far we see a full team substitution for Bellevue. We see B.J. Shelton, Richard Reed, Drew Apsher, and Blake Wilder.
And both free throws are good by Brandon Fagans. He'll step out. Connor Dukes checks into the lineup. First time we've called Connor's name tonight. The freshman out of Plattsmouth, Nebraska, just down the road a bit, just south of the Bellevue area. Again, just token pressure in the backcourt. Takes him 7 seconds to get across the timeline. That's what head coach Shane Pabin, associate head coach Mike Marcial want. Take time off the possession of your opponent. Shevlin guarded by Richard Reed, knocked away. Dukes with the steal ahead to Shelton. BJ to the hoop, up and in. Nicely executed transition game by the Bruins after the steal. The lead grows to 12 points. Richard Reed will be called for the reach-in foul that time. Hakeem Williams bringing the ball up court. Not a shooting foul. That's only the 4th team foul against Bellevue, 2nd against Reed. Reed with 10 points, leading the Bruins. 2 3-pointers and 2 doubles for Reed. Blue Hawks reverse the basketball to the right side of the floor, drive to the lane. Knocked away by Drew Apsher, but they say Apsher is going to get a foul on the play. Looked like a stuff, but must have been some contact inside. First personal foul against Apsher. And all his folks listening in down in Missouri, thanks for joining us tonight on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Terrell Butler to the free throw line. No good on the first attempt. Butler with only 2 points tonight. An 8.1 point per game average on the season for Butler. Makes the second. Approaching the 12-minute mark of the second half of action. Bellevue with an 11-point lead, 51-40 our score. Apsher for 3. Off the side of the rim. The rebound brought down by Connor Getchie. Quickly ahead comes Williams to Butler. Trying to get a screen from Marcus White. White working against Drew Apsher. Bumping and grinding inside on the defensive and offensive end. The pull-up shot by Williams, high off the glass and in. Hakeem Williams with the score. First basket of the night for Williams. Bounce pass inside to Blake Wilder. Wilder backs his way in. Again in traffic against a triple team. He'll head to the free throw line. That foul's going to go against Terrell Butler. First personal against him. Again, pleading his case. I went straight up. Yes, straight up, but you've got to have defensive position established. Blake to the free throw line. Wilder makes the first.
He must have heard that text message.
Yes. Iowa Lakes Community College is where he started his basketball career after graduating from Fort Dodge. My wife lived in Fort Dodge for several years when she was young. It's a pretty place, was up there visiting. That commercial brought to you by the Fort Dodge Greater Area Tourist Bureau. They have some sort of mummified thing that they had that was proved to be a hoax. I can't remember the name of it, but it'll come to me at some point. Anyway, back to the basketball action. Moving out of Fort Dodge, the Bruins with an 11-point lead, 53-42. The weave at the top of the key. The drive to the basket, the pull-up by Butler. He's fouled and will head to the free throw line. Well, we didn't say Butler's name a lot in the first half, but as of late, Terrell Butler getting involved in the action. He's a senior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Speaking of action, how's that for a segue? Butler for two. First shot is good, 53-43, back to a 10-point lead.
And Butler's a 50% free throw shooter, so he's going to really try to sink this double-digit lead down in single digits.
Bellevue led by 4 at halftime. You called it. Led by 4 at halftime. The lead now at 11 minutes to go is 9 for the home team. North Star Athletic Association competition here. Still over a month of games remaining. 9 games after this one, still on the schedule. Slapped away, nice steal on the defensive end by Akeem Williams, but then loses the handle. Knocked away, B.J. Shelton will be called for the foul. Number 15, fouls number 15. Again, it's Terrell Butler heading to the free throw line. 7th team foul against Bellevue with 10:40 to go, so a lot of free throws will be shot in this second half of action. In the first half, hardly a free throw was shot, none for Dickinson State, only 4 for Bellevue. That'll change here in the second half as we're already past that one. A miss on the first.
Through the last couple of games, we kind of saw Bellevue's defense in the second half kind of let the teams come back and make it a close game. So they're really going to try hard here and not allow that to happen this game.
Williams with his second free throw upcoming. And true to his season average of 50%, that's what he shoots the last 2 times at the line. 10.5 minutes to go. Bellevue with an 8-point lead, looking to get back in the scoring column on this trip down the floor. Here's Richard Reed. He's made a couple of trays tonight in this second half. Blue Hawks switching up to a zone defense, trying to make those inside penetrations a little bit harder. But here comes one here to Apsher. His pass is deflected and picked off by Akeem Williams. Didn't see who got the initial hand on it, but Williams, the recipient instead of a Bruin. Back to Marcus White. Stillman guarding him at the perimeter. Now a clear out for White into the lane against Stillman off the glass, and he's just a very smooth player. Very agile, getting into the lane, hard to stop him. Stillman did everything he could, but now a 6-point game, 53-47. Over to Jalen Hall, right in front of the Bellevue bench. Over the corner, Richard Reed. He stretches out to make that catch. Reed listed at 5'10". He was about 6'10" to get up for that one. Hall into the lane, bounce pass inside. Joffrey Stillman. Hall with the assist. Stillman with the basket. 9:30 remaining as the Bruins call a timeout. Bellevue leads it by 8.
And then the 2 prior possessions, we've kind of seen Bellevue have some turnovers because of bad passes. So we're really going to see here if Coach Pavin is talking to these guys, kind of talking, see if they could take better care of the ball here. Because even that last pass was almost a turnover. So see if they could step it up here.
Both teams huddled around their coaching staffs. Shane Payman, Mike Marcial, Chris Ashanti doing the talking at the Bruin bench. Across the way for Dickinson State, Josh Vaughn in his first year. His assistant coach is Marlon Tibbs. 9:30 remaining. Pretty nice sized crowd on hand tonight, considering the distance that Dickinson State has to go and considering the cold weather outside. Single-digit day once again. I'll stop whining about the weather once spring comes rolling around. Then I'll complain that it's too hot when we're covering baseball games. So anyway, thanks for bearing with that. That's off my chest. Back to the basketball game at hand. Again, thanks to all the folks who texted in to us this evening on the Bruin Sports Network. We always love to hear from you. Oh, we got one more here that snuck in. Good luck, Bruins, from Richard Reed Sr. and his brother Ryan Reed from Sacramento, California. Let's get it. Richard leading the Bruins with 10 points, 2 threes, and two two-point baskets.
And Richard Reed's only 5 points away from a season high, so if he stays hot, he might be able to pass that tonight.
Bruins needing to continue to have that outside threat. That's going to go against Blake Wilder. The grab onto Marcus White, trying to deny the pass. So 18 fouls. White will shoot a 1-and-1 here. And if you're scoring 19 points a game, you've got to be a pretty good free throw shooter. Yeah, 81%. That'll get it done most of the time. Makes the front end of the 1-and-1. So White with 22 points. He's now over his season average with still over 9 minutes remaining in the game. Make that 23. So he's been the one guy Bellevue has not been able to stop, and nobody else on the Dickinson squad with more than 6 points. Blake Wilder keeping alive in the right corner, now has it knocked away, and a foul will be called against Marcus White. Grabbed onto the wrist of Blake Wilder. Third personal foul against White, so that would be the only point of concern for Dickinson State fans as their leading scorer in a little bit of foul difficulty. Let's see if Bruins try to work it in against him. 2-3 zone, so that's going to make it a little more difficult to try to focus on one player defensively. White in the middle of that 2-3 zone defense back in. Here's Wilder into the middle, the bounce pass to Brian Stokes. Jalen Hall, shot clock to 1. The shot is on its way, it's no good, and they'll say a shot clock violation as it did not touch the rim. Good defense by the Blue Hawks that time down. We said a couple minutes ago that critical part of the game for them as they were trailing by 12 at the time. They've cut the margin to 6, so they've halved it with 8:40 to go. Bellevue looking to make the defensive stop. Getchy with the basketball at the top. Working it around. High off the glass. That time it's no good. A similar shot made by Akeem Williams a couple minutes ago. That time did not fall. And Bellevue with a chance to expand the 6-point lead. Bruins trying to get organized, trying to find some answers for this 2-3 zone defense. Trying to work into a slot. There's the inbounds pass to Blake Wilder. Wilder against a double team. He's fouled by Marcus White, and that will be the 4th personal foul against White.
And from here on out, you could really expect Bellevue to push that ball inside and try to get their lead scorer out of this game.
Oh, change everything. The foul instead is called against Devin Lay. So the Blue Hawks escape a bullet, dodge a bullet there, as the foul goes against Loy instead of against White. They were both on the play, so Blake Wilder with 2 free throws, no matter who the foul's against. Now 16 fouls against Dickinson State, so both teams will be shooting free throws down the stretch. Clark, Gallo, Shevlin checking back in for Dickinson State. Hall, Moore, Wilder, Stokes, and Stillman, the 5 Bruins on the floor. Brandon Fagans checks in, replacing Joffrey Stillman. Getting that light pressure by the Bruins. We've seen that a lot over the last several games. Gallo to Clark to Shevlin to White. White, 1-on-1 against Blake Wilder. Reverse dribble. Wilder trying to keep him out of the lane. Forces the shot to be short. Good defense by Blake Wilder. Not allowing White to get any closer and coming up short on his attempt. So Jalen says, let's set things up as he leads the team. Stokes tries to run from the right side to the left. Looking inside again. Stokes has it down the right corner to Wilder. Trying to double team him against the corner. The reverse in the lane. Wilder loses the handle on the basketball. It goes off of a Blue Hawks player out of bounds. Carter Gallo almost had the steal but ran out of real estate.
Seems like Coach Pavin there is fighting for a foul there.
He'll be happy to have possession of the basketball, but Bellevue with only 4 seconds on the shot clock. And more towel duty. Connor Duke's getting involved with the towel over there. And Richard Reed checks back into the Bellevue game, replacing Brian Stokes. Hall into the middle, shot up, swatted away. A foul's going to be called. Jerry Shevlin's got a nice beard.
Yeah, kind of looks like James Harden a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Foul's going to be called against Jerry Shevlin, the aforementioned guy with a great beard. Second personal foul. Jalen Hall at the free throw line to shoot 2. So the Bruins able to get that shot off within that 4 seconds remaining. Jalen, good. On shot number 1. Here's B.J. Shelton back in, replacing Blake Wilder. Hall with the big deep breath, gathers himself. Couple of dribbles, shot is also perfect. Nothing but net on both. Jalen Hall. 8 points for Jalen. Here's Shevlin bringing the ball up the floor. Right on top of Brutus the Bruin. He'll give it off to Carter Gallo, who gives it off to Ryan Clark. Looking inside, a nice feed to Shevlin. A fancy move underneath on the spin. Jerry Shevlin with the basket. He now has 6 points. But again, nobody else with more than 6 points. Shevlin and Butler with 6. Nobody else really putting up a lot of points other than Marcus White with 24 for the Blue Hawks. Again, the Bruins guards. Little ball handling action. Shot clock down to 10. Hall penetrates in the zone, gets the shot up and in. Jalen Hall in double digits now with 11 points. 6:12 remaining. Drive to the basket, a foul is called. That'll go against Austin Moore. Austin just his first personal foul, but now 9 team fouls against Bellevue. So the last time for a 1-and-1 for Dickinson State. Everything after this will be 2 shots. 9-point lead for the Bruins, 60-51. First free throw is good. Gallo will get another as Drew Apsher checks in, replacing Austin Moore. And that one is also good. So Dickinson State shot no free throws in the first half, but they've got 10. They're 8 out of 10 from the line in this half. Here's BJ, left side, cut off on his drive to the hoop. Trying to work inside, the jump stop out to Apsher. Back to BJ down in the left corner. Working one-on-one against Marcus White. In traffic off the glass, BJ Shelton, a power move. Down low, timeout called by head coach Shane Pavin. A 30-second timeout with 5:46 remaining. It's Bellevue 62, Dickinson State 53.
And B.J. Shelton just does a great job using his body and having control of his body to get the inside half and gets the best shots possible on the inside. And that makes 3 Bellevue players in double digits points. Jalen Hall, Richard Reed, and B.J. Shelton. BJ's actually 5 for 5 from the field tonight, so he's having a pretty good game.
I would say that rate is pretty good, 5 out of 5. You'd call it a pretty good game if you were 5 for 5 in your batting average, huh? Pretty darn good. Back to the action. 5:46 remaining in this contest. It's been a good one. Jerry Shevlin again will bring the ball up court. He's done a lot of the ball handling duties for Dickinson State. But again, 6 seconds burned off the clock, getting it up court. Getchie from the corner for 3, too short. He and Apsher battling for it. The foul will be called on Connor Getchie. Drew Apsher had good position. Getchie tried to reach around. He'll commit the foul. And Drew will head to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. 8 team fouls against the Blue Hawks.
Drew's a 67% free throw shooter so far this season for the Bruins. And if he could sink these, that'll give the Bruins a double-digit lead.
The freshman makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Good job. Folks in Missouri are cheering over that one. Let's see if they'll cheer again on this one. Bruins, normally not a lot of freshmen on the squad. They like to get JUCO talent, guys with a little more experience, but Drew's done the job in this his freshman year. That one goes in as well, so 2 cheers. Brian Stokes, a redshirt freshman as well. 11-point lead for the Bruins, a little bit more comfort with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Dickinson State with the basketball. Shevlin on the drive. The nice knock away by Fagans. Here's Richard Reed with the basketball. He's knocked to the floor. Bruins come up with it. And they'll control it to the cheers from the Bruin fans in attendance. My cold medication is wearing off. I'm sneezing and coughing, so again, I apologize for that. I try to keep it off the air. Bruins running some time off the clock as we're under 5 minutes. Reed launches. Reed connects once again. Richard Reed. 3 3-pointers tonight. 13 points for him. Reed now on defense. Denying the drive of Carter Gallo. Gallo inside, can't go anywhere. Out to White. Marcus White, a 3-pointer. He's just been the difference maker for Dickinson State.
And he's 3 for 3 from three-point line as well, so he's having an incredible game.
Timeout called by Dickinson State. Dickinson State and Bellevue, each team with 4 timeouts remaining in this one. The Bruins lead it by 11. Doing the math in my head here sometimes doesn't always work. 67 to 56, 11-point lead for the Bruins. So the Reed 3-pointer, the White 3-pointer. Bruins are happy to trade baskets down the rest of the game with 4.5 minutes remaining.
I mean, it's a 4-possession game now for the Bruins, so they're right where they want to be with this much time left on the clock.
I would anticipate Bellevue trying to run the shot clock down using as much of the 30 seconds as possible unless they get a wide open look inside. Or let's see if that's the strategy that head coach Shane Pabin is thinking about. Hall and Shelton. Now Apsher and Fagans. And Reed, so all 5 Bruins have touch. Reed again with the hot hand. That time it won't go. Coach Pabin not happy with that shot selection from his body language down low. The drive to the basket is up and in. Nice move to the basket by Terrell Butler, and he'll go to the free throw line for a shot as he's fouled by Brandon Fagans, second personal foul. Joffrey Stillman checks back in, replacing Fagans. Butler to the line, so he has 8 points. And now 9. 5 of his points coming from the free throw line. Exactly 4 minutes remaining in this one. Bruins up by 8. Here's B.J. Shelton, the right side, nothing there. He goes to the corner. Tries the middle once again. The kick out past Jalen Hall for 3. No good. The rebound brought down by Marcus White. Here comes Dickinson State on the run behind White. Trying to get to the baseline. Apsher cuts him off. The double team a little bit too slow. Williams outside. The shot. No good, but the rebound picked up by Akeem Williams. A fresh 30-second clock. Dickinson State trying to get quick. Nice bounce pass down low. Stillman had his back turned, and the bounce pass inside to Ryan Clark makes it a 6-point game. The Bruins lead is closed a little bit. Bellevue needs to make a response. 3:15 remaining. Bruins trying to run some guys inside as Dickinson State has gone back to a man-to-man defense. Here's BJ trying to drive. Shot short, rebound pulled down by Ryan Clark. Bruins had a good look, didn't convert. Under 3 minutes to go. Bruins lead it by 6. Drive by Akeem Williams, the give to Clark. Williams to Clark for the back-to-back time. Shane Pabin calls a timeout as the lead has dwindled to 4. 2:48 remaining. Bellevue 67, Dickinson State 63.
And so far, Dickinson State has been doing a great job driving the basket, realizing defenders are going to come in and crash and dishing it off to the wide open man coming to the basket.
So Bruin defenders have been caught a couple of times trying to help out on the double team. Good bounce passes inside to teammates by Dickinson State has cut this to a 4-point game. Shane Pavement making some points to his team across the way. Same thing for Dickinson State coach Josh Vaughn. Dickinson State with a little bit of momentum. Here's where Bellevue needs to try to turn that around.
They're really going to have to step it up on defense here if they want to maintain this lead. With the history of these two teams, we know it's going to be a tough battle throughout the rest of the game.
2:48 remaining, 67-63 our score. Marcus White with 27 points. He's got some helpers as of late. Terrell Butler with 9 and Ryan Clark with 9 have helped bring Dickinson State back into this one. So here's a gut check for the Bruins. We talked about focus in the women's game. Head coach Shane Pavement talks about focus almost every time we talk to him. Let's see if the Bruins have the focus here in the remaining 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Man-to-man defense. Bellevue taking some time. Shot clock to 15. Now the Bruins start to get into it as the team chants behind. Blake Wilder back into the game. Working against Ryan Clark, trying to work his way. Little shot inside, it won't go down. The rebound to Dickinson State. That would have been big. Now a big chance. The Bruins have to play defense here. 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Shevlin with the basketball to Clark. Marcus White down low against B.J. Shelton. The one-on-one matchup, the turn. Shelton does everything he can, but Ryan Clark gets the rebound. His putback is no good, but he's fouled by Blake Wilder. That rebound carried a little bit long outside. Clark in position to make the offensive rebound. He'll shoot 2.
So far, Clark in the game has been 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and he's going to try his best to make this one possession game.
68% free throw shooter on the season. 2 shots here as that's double bonus. Makes the first. A 3-point game. So a 1 possession game right now. Bruins let one slip away against Jamestown last weekend, hoping to avoid a repeat. That one off the mark. So a 3-point lead for Bellevue. 1 minute and 50 seconds remain in this contest. Bruins think need another basket, maybe 2, to help secure this one.
This possession here for the Bruins is going to be huge.
Brian Stokes, top of the key. Austin Moore, left side, down to Blake Wilder. Wilder into the middle, loses the ball. Good defense as Blake just really didn't have anywhere to go inside that time. Dickinson State can pull within 1 or tie it with a tray. Here's Jerry Shevlin, the little runner, awkward shot at the lane. It won't go down. Battle for the rebound. A couple of guys go to the floor. A jump ball is the call. Possession arrow points to Dickinson State. Austin Moore in there working hard for the rebound. I think he got tangled up with Akeem Williams. Towel on the court as there's a little perspiration to be wiped up on that one. So Dickinson State will have possession of the basketball. It's a very cold day outside, but a warm Lozier Center tonight. The furnace doing double duty. It'll be a inbounds underneath. Jerry Shevlin will be the trigger man here. 1:17 remaining. Bruins up by 3. Marcus White with the basketball, guarded by B.J. Shelton. Again, that one-on-one battle in the lane, trying to find some space. He connects for 2. The Bruins lead has been cut to 1. From double digits to 1 point over the last several minutes. Exactly 1 minute to go. Bellevue with 3 timeouts remaining, should they need them. 4 timeouts left for Dickinson State. The Bruins facing a man-to-man defense. Again, spread things out. Now the shot clock at 12. Bounce pass to Stokes. The drive by Hall. Hall has his pass picked off. A race down the court with the basketball. Terrell Butler, he makes the basket, and Dickinson State takes a 1-point lead with 34 seconds remaining in the game. Bellevue has been stuck on 67 for the last several minutes. Here's BJ into the lane. Awkward shot is no good. Battle for the rebound. It's a tie-up. Possession arrow this time points to the Bruin. Blake Wilder, got his hands on that one. And Bellevue will have the basketball underneath. 20 seconds on the shot clock, but first a timeout. 23 seconds remaining in the game. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Bellevue trailing by 1, 68-67.
And right now, if you're Bellevue, you have to score in this possession. You don't want to have to foul Dickinson State, where they're shooting 77% from the free throw line right now.
And in the double bonus, so any foul would result in free throws other than an offensive foul. But
and for Dickinson, you could kind of expect where the ball's going to. Their hot hand right now, Marcus White.
Again, just a few minutes ago, Bellevue with a double-digit lead. They led by as many as 12 points. And over the last couple minutes, Dickinson State has whittled that down and have now taken the lead. They had the lead for a couple of short spurts in the first half. Bellevue had a 4-point halftime lead, had a lead as large as 12 about halfway through this second half, but now they trail by 1. So again, a game that's coming down to the final seconds for the Bruins. Jalen Hall, Austin Moore, Blake Wilder, B.J. Shelton, and Brian Stokes. The 5 Bellevue players on the floor. 23 seconds in the game, 20 on the shot clock. Bruins trying to inbounds. They get it into Blake Wilder down at the right corner. Man-to-man defense. Wilder against Clark. Wilder goes up off the glass and in. Blake Wilder with 16 seconds gives the Bruins a 1-point lead. Let's see if Dickinson State will hold for the final shot. 10 seconds remaining. Jerry Shevlin puts up the fadeaway shot. It's good. 7 seconds remaining. Bellevue gets it inbound to Jalen Hall. Hall with the spin. Timeout called at half court. 3.9 seconds remaining. Good pressure in the backcourt by Dickinson State. A clutch basket by Jerry Shevlin gives the Blue Hawks a 1-point lead at 70-69. Bellevue has 3.9 seconds to inbound near midcourt and get off the shot. Wise decision by Dickinson State to pressure in the backcourt. They made the Bruins burn off an extra couple of seconds. Bellevue did not take the timeout immediately because then they would have had to take the ball out all the way on the other end of the floor. This way at least they have it near midcourt and can hopefully get off a decent shot with 3.9 seconds remaining. A similar situation to last Saturday when they played the University of Jamestown. Bellevue trailed, had a few seconds to get off a last-second shot, but couldn't get off a good look and wound up losing that one in the rematch against the other team that they tied with for first place last year in the North Star Athletic Association for the top spot.
But the great thing about this possession to the last game is that they're not down by 3, so a three-pointer isn't needed to be made to either tie the game or take the lead. Easy 2-point shot will do the job here.
Any basket, any free throw, a free throw would tie it. Expect the Blue Hawks to put some pressure on the inbounds pass. Jalen Hall will inbound. He's defended by Austin Payne. And now Shane Pabin calls another timeout after he sees what kind of defense the Blue Hawks have set up against his Bruins. So the strategy, once again, going on across the way. The Bruins, their lineup on the bench, seated down, catching some air, listening to head coach Shane Pabin as he draws up the play on his chalkboard. Meanwhile, on the Dickinson side, Josh Vaughn, the head coach, first-year head coach, along with his assistant Marlon Tibbs. His team standing on the floor, looking to make the defensive stop.
And Dickinson's going to have to do a job here on not fouling either, because they're at 8 fouls, so that'll be a 1-and-1 shot for Bruin if drawn a foul.
And that's an important point, too. The Blue Hawks with 18 fouls, so it's still a 1-and-1 situation for the Bruins if they are fouled. But if they are fouled, they're probably going to be fouled at the act of shooting.
Yep.
So now Austin Moore will be the trigger man here, trying to free up a guy. Jalen Hall will get the last shot, a three-point attempt. It's off the back iron. The Dickinson State Blue Hawks come all the way back from a double-digit deficit to win it on a baseline jumper with 7 seconds left by Jerry Shevlin. And our final score, the Dickinson State Blue Hawks 70, the home team Bellevue University Bruins 69. With the loss, the Bruins fall to 11-9 on the season, 3-4 in the North Star Athletic Association. With the victory, Dickinson State moves to 9-6 on the year, 6-1 in conference. They get cheers from the women's basketball squad as they walk off the court to their locker room. and from the Dickinson fans who came down from North Dakota. They enjoy a win on the Bruins' home court. Last year, Bellevue did not lose a conference game on their home floor. This year, they have lost on back-to-back weekends to Dickinson State and the University of Jamestown in heartbreaking games where they had a shot at the buzzer to win it, but they didn't go down.
And that's one of the tough things we've seen from Bellevue is that they get a good, comfortable lead, and it seems like every time that it's kind of fading away for them in the last 5 minutes of the games.
Good strategy. I mean, the Bruins tried to burn time off the clock once they had that double-digit lead with 4 or 5 minutes remaining in the game, but they couldn't connect. They got stuck on 67 for a long time. They finally put a couple points up to get it to 69, but they can't get the shot at the buzzer to win it. 70-69, our final score. Let's take a quick look first at some of the team stats. The Blue Hawks wound up out-shooting Bellevue 48% to 46%. We said that was close in the first half. From three-point land, Dickinson State made 4, Bellevue made 8. From the free throw line, Dickinson State converts 10 free throws to the Bruins 13. Joining me now is Bellevue men's head coach Shane Pabin. Coach, statement of the obvious, a disappointing loss.
Well, we really let that one slip away, didn't we?
Double-digit lead with about 4 or 5 minutes remaining in the game.
4 minutes left.
And then kind of got stuck on 67 for a long time.
Well, I just made a lot of silly plays. They got a 10-0 run. Terrible shot by Rich, just jacking up a crap shot. Poor decision making on shooters, foul. I mean, we really just, hey. Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts a lot. Woo.
These were the two teams you tied with for the conference championship last year, Jamestown and now tonight Dickinson State here. Just a little extra hurt probably because of that. Teams that you've competed against, you can know who they are and battled hard last year. Where do you go from here? A tough game tomorrow as well.
We got a tough one tomorrow. We have to get ready for tomorrow. Obviously, you can be depressed and sad about this, and I'm sure it will be, but I can do that on Sunday. We got to get ready for Mayville tomorrow. We are without a starter tonight. Nick stubbed his toe, and we're just not. We're letting a lot of opportunities in the season slip through our fingers.
You had some guys step up from three-point land early on. Richard Reed had 3. Drew Epsher had a couple. Brian Stokes had a couple. But, again, the shots down the end, the shot selection down the end was a little bit obviously not to your liking.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. It's just, we have definitely found ways to lose this year. Yeah, it's just one of those things. We're just we got to get better. I'm not giving up on the fellas, but we seem to get about 30 minutes out of our game. We haven't played 40 minutes this season. We let people back in. We have a halftime lead, get a big lead, and start losing our minds. And it's kind of funny what triggers it. Quick. I just know that Richard. Quick, stupid shot, he hits one.
With still 20 seconds left on the shot clock when you were trying to run it down.
And then he doesn't play defense. It's just pretty pathetic. It's frustrating, really frustrating.
Marcus White, one of the premier players in the league, had 29 points tonight, but for a long time, he was the only guy that was really going off against you until the last 8-10 minutes of the game. Nobody else had more than 6 points on their team. You were doing a good job defending the other guys, but then some guys kind of got on fire at the last part of the game as well. Yeah,
it's just you gotta win games. You gotta finish them out, and we were up 67-53 and got outscored 17-2 the last 4 minutes of the game.
As you said, that one hurts.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the opponent, Mayville State, they're the league leader right now, 6-1 going into the action, so they'll be coming in fresh to the Lozier Center as they didn't play tonight. So, again, give us any idea if you have of how to get the troops rallied for another tough opponent tomorrow.
It's either you come ready to play tomorrow or you get beat again. The expectations this season still have not changed. It's just, it's hard to put my finger on things right now. I'm not going to lie.
You had 5 losses last year and still won the league championship. You've got 4 losses at this point, so it's still conceivable, but you got to play some great basketball here down the stretch in the remaining 9 games.
Yeah, we also defended our home court. We were 17-1 last year in our home court. This year we've already lost 3 games. I think we're 3-6. So, just disappointing. you know, it's funny, life. You can have success in life, and if you don't give more the next year, it gets taken away real quick. And I think our senior class is definitely learning that. You know, and then, you know, we just, we got to step up. I mean, well, I have to be a better coach. I got to find more buttons to press.
I know it's no fun being up here after a tough loss like that, so we'll call it a night here.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck in tomorrow's effort. Get back on the win column. Head coach Shane Pabin. Tough duty coming up after a tough loss on Saturday and again tonight against two of the other top contending teams in the North Star Athletic Association. Let's give you kind of a final wrap-up here of scoring for tonight. Again, Dickinson State with a 70-69 victory on the evening. For the Bruins, they wind up with 4 guys in double digits. Richard Reed with 13, Jalen Hall with 11, B.J. Shelton and Blake Wilder with 10 points apiece. Drew Apsher with 8, Brian Stokes and Joffrey Stillman with 6, Austin Moore with 3, Brandon Fagans with 2. For the winning Dickinson State Blue Hawks, again, Marcus White, their go-to guy, 29 points. He was kind of a one-man show for most of the game, but got some help down the stretch. Terrell Butler finishes with 11, Ryan Clark with 10. Jerry Shevlin, the game winner at 7 seconds remaining, included amongst his 8 points. Carter Gallo with 4, Austin Payne with 4, Connor Getchie and Akeem Williams with 2 points apiece. So a heartbreaking loss for the Bruins, who drop on the season now to 11-9, 3-4 in conference. Back to it tomorrow. Got to pick up the effort and face the top-seeded Mayville State team, 6-1 in conference, 12-3 overall. So the Bruins hopefully will get a W tomorrow as they pick up an L tonight. That'll wrap it up for head coach Shane Pabin, for athletic director Ed Lahotek, for all the guys in the sports information department at Bellevue, and everybody on the sports staff. For Julian Rivera, for our broadcast staff up here, the guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll bring a win your way tomorrow as the Bruins need to get out of the funk and get back to winning basketball. I'm Mick Krupski. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Talk to you again tomorrow, 5 o'clock for the men, 3 o'clock for the women on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Good night.